Excuse me. Let's get it cracking, y'all. Let's get it cracking lacking. Let's get it popping. Let y'all start getting in here first before I get started. Over here, so put you in a different direction this day. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. Things have been hectic this week. But it's Friday, and it's the wind down of the week. I know a lot of you all are glad that today is here. I know I'm running late. Normally, I do my live at 5, but I had to get some much needed rest. I hadn't gotten any rest in the last 2 days because I've been dealing with some personal issues with one of my real good Judies. So my priorities were there with them over everything else. So now I took this day to get myself prepared to be able to give you all this information, as I always do. For some of you all that don't quite understand what I'm doing now, I'm doing this news information. I'm doing it on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because there's so much. There's so much. This message here for review. Message. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. This YouTube over here, Facebook down here. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I really and truly do. Like I said, there's so much going on in the world. Daily things are changing with everything that's going on. That me just doing daily, doing news on just Fridays or Mondays and Fridays wasn't going to get it. So I didn't want to bore you all and do one every single day. And with the way stuff is going, I might end up doing it, but right now it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So, uh, so you all know to tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I will try to do them at 5 o'clock every day. That's what I'm gonna set for a time set schedule of 5 p.m. If you're over here on YouTube, if you haven't already, please share, let people know, um, and have those that have not to hit that subscribe button. That's the way that I'll be able to keep making these videos, and keep it going and keep bringing you all different information as it comes. Hit the notification bell, hit all, so that way you can get notified when you know when I go live. I appreciate y'all. I love each and every one of y'all over here on YouTube and Facebook. So Facebook, I ask you to give us some stars if you possibly can for support. Also share my live so everyone can see it and everything. As you all know, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I don't want to be before you long, as I have to be. Last week was some well, it wasn't last week, it was Wednesday. We had some technical difficulties. In the middle of my live, right at the end of the live, my the Wi-Fi went out and it started acting up, and and it cut my video. So, but the crazy part about it is right after I ended it, it cut it. 3 minutes later, after I ended it, the damn Wi-Fi came back on. It never went back on. So I don't know. So I'm gonna pick back up where I left off from last week. And then I'm going to update everything that's going on. So we've been talking about these tariffs and everything. So and high prices and stuff that's been going on. Wednesday, there was a comment by a gentleman by the name of Joe Brussels. He's the chief economist. He says there is still probability there's going to be a recession, even though the president has, as you know now, has repealed back some of his tariffs. He has not touched China. He still got the tariffs on China, and China has hit back with some tariffs of their own. And I'll get into that in just a minute on what the situation between the United States and China is right now. In just a second. So let me say this. This was going to be my end out segment that I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about independent. He's an independent. He's a United States senator out of Vermont, and his name is Bernie Sanders. And we all know Bernie, and Bernie is a socialist. Bernie did a town hall meeting with CNN Wednesday, and I didn't get a chance to see that town hall meeting, but to me, Bernie Sanders is just trying to make himself relevant because once again, he's probably going to try to, if he's still alive, run again for president in 2028. And I mean, I just feel like Bernie needs to sit down. His time is over. He tried to run, I think, 2 times and he didn't make it. Bernie, it's over, man. I mean, why? And at this town hall, he was talking about what's the next move for Democrats. Well, you're an independent, bro. You don't you look. Let me explain something to y'all. This is just my opinion. When you're an independent and you switch and jump parties to run for an election, and you jump over and say, "Well, I'm going to run as a Republican," or "I'm going to switch from an independent," you're a jumper and run as an independent. We all know there are 2 national parties, Republican and Democrat. So people feel like if I run as an independent, if I run under the Tea Party, if I run under the Green Party or the Libertarian Party, that I'm not going to get elected. Well, even if you run under the Democrat ticket, you're not going to get elected, in my opinion, because you're not a Democrat. If you run up under the Republican ticket, you're not going to get elected because you're not a Republican. Stay in your lane. And that's what irks me about Bernie Sanders. I mean, he just jumped. Oh, you're not a Democrat, bro. So stop trying to be relevant. You're not going to get elected as president of the United States. It's not going to happen. It's just plain and simple, not going to happen. So Bernie Sanders, stay out the way. Let someone like Cory Booker have his spotlight and possibly run under the Democratic ticket or somebody else, and we're going to get into that discussion as well later on, as well. Talk about president. I think I got it on here already. Okay, so as of today, stocks tumble again due to imports 225%. So now, means is this: China has and capped their tariffs at 125%. So all exports going out of China coming into the United States is 125%. China has stated that they are not going to raise any more taxes uh, or tariffs on the United States. They said if the United States clap back and raise any more tariffs from the 124% that or 125% that Donald Trump has already put out, that they're just going to ignore that. They said that China said Xi Jinping said that what he's going to do is um, he's going to get he's going to start getting his resources from other countries. He spoke about soybeans. He said he was going to go to Brazil and get soybeans from Brazil. It would be cheaper. It would be a better economy to do that and better relationship than the strained one with the United States. This is also going to cause a great, I could use this word, a great depression on the United States getting certain items that we get from China, like food, clothes, electronic parts, uh, and so forth. We get rare minerals from China, um, and they're going to deny us that. So there's a whole lot of stuff that we rely on here in the United States that come out of China that we're not going to be able to get. China has capped and put 125% tariffs on the United States for all imports and exports. So China will cap tariffs at 125%. Any higher tariffs from U.S. will China will ignore. They are now going to cut off T-bonds, which deals with our debt and economy on soybeans, electronic parts, and other things. Said they will trade with Brazil, as I just stated, for soybeans with a market that is cheaper and better, as well as other countries for imports and exports. Just plain and simple. That's pretty much where we're at right now. As I stated, a lot of people might be in confusion. They might be saying, "Well, hold on. I thought Donald Trump put his tariffs on hold for 90 days." That's with every country that he had on that big placard, Sri Lanka, um, everywhere else except China. So right now we're in a trade war with China. I don't exactly know where this is going to go. You all know that we owe China trillions of dollars from the money that we borrowed throughout the years from China. And I don't know exactly how it would work, but to my understanding, if you owe me some money, and F it, I want my money right now. That's it. If the bank, I use it in a better term, if you owe the bank some money, a bank, if you owe the bank, say, you know what, I want to cash in, I want my money, and you don't give them their money, what will they do? They will start foreclosing on your home. They, if you got a car through them, they're going to have your car repossessed. They're going to take. I don't know the logistics between the United States and China's uh, agreements on those loans that we've owed them for decades. But if China just said, "I want to cash in and I want my money," what can we do? We've got to give that. Let's see what Reggie says. You're gonna have to get a microphone. Will sound more crisp and clear. Well, I appreciate you. Get me one. I know that I don't have the money to get one, but I appreciate any donations from anybody that can get me one from Best Buy. A real good one that I know my boy Cash got with Little Rock Hood News. It costs about $125, $130 at Best Buy. I'm taking all donations and help that I could possibly get. I'm not fussing at you, Reggie. And y'all, that's my cousin, Reggie Swinton. Played for the Cowboys, played for the Arizona Cardinals, played for the Detroit Lions. I know you're not fussing, you're just giving me some good advice, and I appreciate that. But bro, right now, all I can do is work with what I got. I can't do I, I can't do anything no better. I know, Nisha, I can barely hear you. I know. I know this is just the equipment that I got. There's absolutely, hold on. There's there's absolutely nothing that I can do to this. Like I said, I'm not fussing at y'all. I'm not. I'm not fussing at y'all one bit. I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. Right now, I'm not working. Um, I haven't worked since December, and I'm kind of getting off track here, but I'm just explaining to you all because of your comments. No matter what your comments are, I'm going to answer them, no matter whether they're discussing about this or off track or whatever. But hey, things is hard right now, and I can't do nothing but what I can do. I like and and subscribe. Appreciate you. And I wear glasses and I can't hardly see. Appreciate you. Yay. Yay, little is cool. Okay. I hope I got that right. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Um, but yeah, it's hard. We're all struggling in some type of way in this economy. And I love each and every one of you all. I really and truly do. Um, I just have to do what I gotta do till hey, till I can do better. Okay, moving right along. Um, the United States is being criticized, as you know, for their lack of support for the people of Myanmar. If you're not familiar what happened at Myanmar, Myanmar had an earthquake that rocked that country a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago or so. And the United States pledged $9 million. And Trump sent over um, two aid workers. Now, when the two aid workers got over to Myanmar, they were immediately relieved of their duties by the United States. They were placed on leave. He sent whoever was responsible with USAID sent them over there and then told them your services are no longer needed, along with the $9 million. Now, people look back at 2023. 2023, we know Joe Biden was the president. Biden, with the USA, committed $185 million to Syria, and Turkey, and sent over hundreds of employees to help in Syria and Turkey. So they're saying 185 million, 9 million. Now, this is the way I personally feel. Donald Trump has come into office and he said that he's going to cut wasteful spending. And I'm just going to say it with the way that I feel. A lot of people are not going to like this, but it just is what it is. I think $9 million was better than nothing. Because this is the thing. We can't continue to keep being the big ATM in the sky that just shell out money all year. That's why our economy every so years are jacked up, because we're wasteful spending so much money into other countries for their natural disasters and everything, but we don't do that as much right here domestically. And like Trump said, he's cutting a lot of these agencies, and USAID is one of the agencies that he's fired a lot of people and cutting back. I'm not a big fan of Trump. I'm not a fan of Trump, period. But anything that you can do that can look out for me and the American people that you represent more than you would other countries and people over in those countries, I'm for you. That's just the way that I am. Um, Again, that's not to say that I support Donald Trump. That's just saying that I would rather for him to give them 9 million than 185 million, like Biden did under his administration. And we're going through what we're going through over here in the United States. It wouldn't make sense to give them 100 and something million dollars or 200 and something, 300 and something million dollars or billions of dollars or whatever, like we've done in the past in other countries. God forbid, what happened to their country with the earthquake and everything, and so forth. But we got to start looking out for our own. We more than we do other countries. We have said this before. There's many of you all have said this before, that we spend too much money on other countries and worry about other countries and what's going on in those other countries, but we don't take care of our here at home, or we don't take care of the homeless here. We got this and we got that. But now that we're doing it, now it's a problem. And there's some people will say, well, it's oh, so you're fussing. Come on, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to either be with what he's doing or you're against what he's doing. But when it comes to USAID, hey, I'm not going to bitch about $9 million. I mean, I know $9 million might not go a long ways with what's going on. It will go a long way. Take that back. It will go a long way. $9 million is better than $0 million all day long. Give me $9 million. Give me a tenth of it. Give me 1% of $9 million. I bet you I can do something with it right now. Yeah. People complaining. Well, I'll move right along. Okay. And a 7-2 United States Supreme Court rules in the Trump administration upholding the firing of federal workers who were temporary and on 90 days and so forth. So if y'all don't understand exactly what a 7-2 decision means in the magnitude of the United States Supreme Court right now, the United States Supreme Court is 6-3. It's 9 Supreme Court justices. 6 are Republican, 3 are Democrats right now. So for it to be a 7-2 decision, that would mean that at least one Democrat at some point crossed over and agreed with the Trump administration. Or it could mean that all three Democrats crossed over and voted with the majority of the justices, or we could say 4 Republicans and then 3 Democrats crossed over with the Republicans, and then 2 Republicans voted no, or what have you. But however, we can safely say that at least one Democrat crossed over to the Republican side and sided with Trump, that it's okay for the Trump administration to fire the federal workers that they fired. So that was Wednesday, that 7-2 decision by the United States Supreme Court. gave the Trump administration a good win. Let me see what Sonia says. Hey, how you doing, Sonia? Good evening. What is the plan? Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. She said, good evening. What is the plan for the money he so calls to save the country? I don't think it will benefit the American people. Okay, that's a good question. I mean, unless I'm mistaken, I don't know if he's saying exactly what his plan is um, with the money that he's saving. But to my understanding, I put it like this: um, a lot of it, or some of it's going into the billionaires' pockets for lower taxes for the billionaires, his billionaire friends like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and various others. Uh, it's I will say this: the situation with TikTok, I use that. If we were to ever get our hands on TikTok, I could see that being given to Elon Musk. Imagine Elon Musk owning X, which is formerly known as Twitter, and he owns TikTok. The man is already the richest man in the world. So now to give him that, well, hey, I hope that answers your question, Sonia, but I don't know. There's no plan in place. No, that's true. That I'm aware of. No, there's no plan in place. Uh, I mean, I would just think that they're just going all and out willy nilly with it. You know, once they get the money, like I said, I believe he's going to just raise more taxes on the regular consumer like us. Of course, we're going to get that anyway. We're going to bite the bullet on that because of what's going on with the Chinese with the China trade wars. So prices on stuff are going to go up, and we're going to be paying higher taxes on stuff because of this trade war with China, as well as with Canada and Mexico and various others. So, I mean, of course, what's going to be done with the money is going to be put in the billionaires' pockets as usual. The rich is going to get richer, and the poor is going to either stay where we're at, or get poor. That's pretty much where it's going to be. Okay. The U.S. House approved a budget blueprint to unlock Trump agenda. $1.5 trillion. The Republican-controlled House voted 216 yay, 214 nay. And to my understanding, two Republicans crossed party lines and went over to the Democrats because the House and two representatives were not there to vote. So, to my understanding, the House is 220 Republican and 213 or 214 Democrat. Uh, so 216 representatives, which were all Republican, voted for this $1.5 trillion spending cuts uh, to unlock the Trump agenda, and 214 against. So that bill passed in the House today. Uh, you know, That will be okay. So, um, U.S. and Russia did a prisoner swap this week. Now, as you know, this is the second prisoner swap between Russia and the United States under the Trump administration. The first one was during Trump's first term in office, where he he um he swapped an arms dealer for Brittany Griner and brought Brittany home and took that arms dealer and sent him to Russia. Now, in this prisoner swap, um, what's that? This American citizen, she's a her name is her name is spelled Ksenia, last name Karelina. That doesn't sound like any natural born American citizen. So I don't know how that is. She's a she was doing a 12-year sentence. Basically, what she did over in Russia was she gave a $50 donation to Ukraine during the Ukraine-Russia war. Russia nabbed her butt up, took her to court, convicted her, and sent her to prison. Basically, that's basically what happened. And she was serving a 12-year sentence. So we swapped her with a Russian/German national who was accused of exporting sensitive U.S. electronics for the use in Russia's military. So so yeah, they made that swap, so they got her back on United States soil. She lives in California, in Los Angeles to be exact. So hey, you know. So let me give you an update on the roof collapse in the nightclub that happened Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning of this week in the Dominican Republic, where it said 221 people uh, have been uh, have been found out of the entire uh, out of the entire situation in the death toll. It was a little over 300 people at the club, and 221 have been found. And out of those 221 or 221 deaths, there was 221 deaths total out of the 300 and something. And out of the 221 deaths total, 146 have been identified uh, so far. So they've still got to identify the remaining number from that 221. Burials have already begun while the searches have ended. Uh, and this information came in on April the 10th around 11:30 p.m. So uh, our prayers go out to the people of the Dominican Republic, uh, their families, their friends, their loved ones, in their time of bereavement. So this has kind of been um, a short briefing, but I made a post about this and I want to discuss this um, because I wanted to discuss it on live. And this is open for discussion. This topic here is open for discussion to give your opinions and everything. Now, we know that President Trump, the the rumor has been floating around that Trump is talking about running for a third term. And if you're familiar with the United States Constitution, you know in the United States Constitution, in Amendment 22 uh, uh, of the United States Constitution, it states that no president can serve more than 2 terms in office. Trump has served 2 terms. He served first one and this one. It doesn't say back to back. And I used to think this. It doesn't say back to back. It just says 2 terms. Period. No president can serve more than 2 terms. Okay. So then there was the talk that, well, what he can do is get JD Vance to run for president. He runs under as vice president, and then they step into office, and then JD Vance switches and gives him the president. That cannot be done. Under the 12th Amendment to the United States Constitution, the 12th Amendment states that no president can serve as vice president um, for a third, at all either, after they've served 2 terms. Then the other situation is that if they could get 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate and 38 of the 50 states in the United States to approve it and ratify the Constitution or change up the Constitution, then he could run for a third term. Well, this is my sensible solution to that. Let's say I'm just gonna sit back and say, okay, um, I like to show educating followers on the political side of things. It's awesome. Thank you, Simon. So here's a big. Let's give him that. Let's give him that. Let's make it where the president can run for a third or multiple terms. Let's give him that. So that could mean that Bush um, Bush could come out of retirement, or rather, I'm not going to say out of retirement because President George W. Bush served 2 terms. Oh, okay. So that means that George W. Bush could come out of retirement, 78 years old. Um, he could come out of retirement and run under the Republican ticket against Donald Trump. I mean, if Donald Trump can serve 2 terms, have served 2 terms, and then want to run a third time, then why can't George W. Bush say, you know what? I served 2 terms, so I'm gonna come out and running the Republican ticket against him. Okay, let's say this one, and he would be 78 years old. Well, that's how old George W. Bush is now, 78 years old. Trump is is Donald Trump right now. No, that's not what I see. Donald. So in 2028, it's 25. It's 3 years from now. So they will both be 81 years old. So we can. So if Donald Trump is talking about running at 81 years old, why can't George W. Bush come out and run at 81 years old? Now, let's talk about it on the Democratic side. Bill Clinton, right now, is 78 years old. Why can't Bill Clinton come out of retirement, come out and run? He served 2 terms in the 90s. Let Bill Clinton come back and run. Barack Obama is 63 years old right now. So Trump, Bush, and age. Yeah. So Bush, Clinton, and Trump would all be the same age in 2020, 28. They would be 81 years old. Barack Obama, right now, is 63. So in 3 years, he would be 66. So let Trump run. Now, Michelle would probably not like the fact that Barack is talking about running for president again. Now, this is what I say. I think a wonderful Democratic ticket, here's some, I'll give you multiple picks for a Democratic ticket. Now, a lot of young folks are not going to know this or know why I would say this probably, but 2028, a wonderful Democratic ticket would be Clinton Obama or Obama Clinton. Either which way you swap it, but both of them run together. Or you could have Obama Booker, Obama and Cory Booker. Or you could have Clinton Booker or Booker Clinton or Booker Obama. So let Trump have his fame in wanting to run for president again. All that will do is simply open the door for past presidents to run again. And the only presidents that are alive right now from past is Clinton, Bush, Obama, and we're not even going to refer to Biden because he cognitive issues. So yeah, so let him. So y'all don't get worried because you can best believe one thing: the Democrats are going to get smart and say, "Hold on, wait a minute. If he wants to run for president for a third term, What's going to stop Bill Clinton or Barack Obama from running? The only thing that can stop Barack is Michelle. But I believe that they would probably say to themselves, you know what? If this would mean getting this megalomaniac up out of this White House, for us to run for office again, then come on, Barack, let's do it. But, you know, other than that, Michelle ain't going back to that White House. We all know that. But Hillary and Bill would go. Hillary and Bill would go back if need to be. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all for tuning in for my weekly political agenda, my political weekly informational situation, and until Monday, I will be back Monday to start the week again. So you all tune in, whether on YouTube or Facebook. If anything happens in between, then Saturday and Sunday, I will go live about whatever it is. If there's a shooting or what have you, I might not go to the scene. I might not be able to go live at the scene because I've got some issues dealing with that. So, but I've got other people who works up under me on my channel to help me out to make sure that I'm able to get the information when certain to be able to get you all that information here locally to let you all know what's going on. So I appreciate each and every one of you all for tuning in, for taking time out your schedule. Over here on YouTube, please, 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 please ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Hit that notification bell, hit all, so that way you can get notified when I do go live. I appreciate you because that's what keeps the brand going. That's what helps me keep these videos going. And over here on Facebook, my cousin Reggie Swinton, hopefully he's in a position to bless me with a good old nice microphone from Best Buy, because him and someone else said that they could barely hear me. But hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm working with an iPad from this iPad I've got is, I think I've had it since 2013. So this iPad is 12 years old that I'm on Facebook on. 12 years old, and it's still working. But hey, I'm doing the best that I can with what I've got. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. And as I always say, God bless your hearts and all of your parts. Thank y'all. Share this. Share this. Send me stars. You can still give comments. I still respond. Same here. Let me see before I go. I like and subscribe. Okay, so I already asked that. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all later. Signing out from Facebook. Signing out from you.